Later. Okay. Welcome to Wall Street Reporter's next Super Stock live stream, December 16th. We are back with Liquid Avatar, LQID on the CSC, LQAVF over the counter. Number one company in the metaverse space, number one microcap in the metaverse. I mean, technically, I know there's another company, theoretically that says they're in the metaverse, formerly Facebook, but Liquid Avatar is now really the pure play metaverse stock. We're going to be learning about the path to get to that 10x, 100x upside in 2022. So David, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks, Jack. Thanks for having me here.
David, listen, the main focus today is I kind of want to get a recap of where the company has been, where you've taken it in the last 12 months, because I mean you've really grown by leaps and bounds. It's really been a transformative year. But most importantly, okay, what's the path ahead for 2022? And I think you just came out a piece of news last week, which I mean, I thought it was mind blowing. I think you did like something like 700 grand in sales in this digital land NFT, which is 700 grand is not a lot, for a company like again Facebook or whatever, but it's a massive number. In just nobody was expecting it, and you're doing this in NFT. I think you're the only. I think right now, Liquid Avatar has got to be the only company that has any decent revenues in this metaverse, the pure play metaverse.
Well, I will say that one of our friends yesterday in the metaverse, which has got about $1 million, or a private company, is being acquired by a SPAC for about $700 million. So I think I would say we're, and that's US versus Canadian dollars, and so I think we're a bit undervalued right now, just a bit undervalued, considering we have, and that group actually met with us at Comic-Con. Some partners in that group met with us at Comic-Con, because we're all friends in the space, and we're not only looking at, I call it the 3 C's, Jack. It's cooperative, collaborative, and then competitive, and we're all sort of in that same vein. So we're seeing organizations that have involved in major transactions partnering with us. We're now talking to brands about how do we get brands involved in the metaverse. But what's been really amazing is we took a bit of a different tact. As we've said many times, our core business is digital identity. That is the power of Web 3.0. That's the decentralization point of knowing that you are you, I am me, without transferring any personalized information. So we're really at that core. And I'm speaking tomorrow at a Metaverse conference in the morning on digital identity. So very short, but very hopefully very poignant piece on that. And we're sponsors of that event. And then we're around that, we've got avatars. And if I could take a minute, I'm going to try and show everyone where avatars are going, because we're seeing a lot of hype and a lot of voxel graphics and everything else. But I want to show something for those that may not have seen it, and I'm going to try and do this because I've never done this before on, let's see if I can share my screen, and bear with me for a second while I put my glasses on, share my screen, and I don't know, can you see my screen there? Okay.
Not yet.
All right, but I think you will be in a second.
Okay.
So tell me when you can see this. Can you see that?
Okay, here we go.
Right, it's called the Metaverse Project. This is our avatar project. I'm about to play a video. The video does not have any sound, so no one will miss it if it doesn't have sound, but let me play this for you. This is the way we think of avatars. This is a creation of a real person. This is, Westworld, Future World, whatever you want to call it. We can morph anyone into any size that they choose. But here's the real kicker. Not only can we make you a representation of yourself, this is where it gets really crazy. Watch this. We can add your face and your personal attributes, do anything you want with that avatar, and then make them have powers and attributes alongside the actual avatar itself. So I'm going to try and come back. I think I've stopped sharing my screen. So that is part of our avatar platform. That avatar will be able to go into their back pocket and literally present their digital identity to someone on screen. So we go from digital identity to avatars straight into the metaverse, really into the metaverse where land exists.
Okay, so we're gonna go through all those things one by one. There's a lot. This is like
lot to unpack.
Here's this whole thing is just so new right now. Like, in other words, like this conversation we're having about metaverse stuff, it kind of reminds me of like conversations, it's like about, the internet, like in
The
1990.
internet or the intranet, because there was both.
But nobody, let's say in 1995, like nobody really like, there was a lot of like, but all of a sudden is this considered with the metaverse? Is this like Web 3. Internet 3.0 or something?
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, Jack, you and I came to you yesterday, said, look, I'm going to be on the show tomorrow. I want to give every one of your viewers an opportunity to get a free piece of metaverse land. And we gave everyone a code that expires.
Yeah. What's going on? Yeah. We gave a code.
WSR, Wall Street Reporter 2021. WSR 2021. If you go to aftermathislands.com and you want to buy a piece of land for $55, we've given you a coupon. Type in that code at checkout and you get it for free. I will tell you, people are responding. So your listeners, your viewers understand where this is going. And what for us that means is every person who buys, 26% approximately of those who are buying one property are coming back for a second property. Some are coming back for 9, 10, 11 properties. So people are understanding this. What makes us unique is one, it's a very low cost of entry. To your friends right now, it's zero, but generally speaking, it's a low cost of entry. You get into the space for $35 or more. Two, this is a virtual piece of land that you will be able to play games on and build on. You can't do that right now in most of the other platforms. You can't do what you want to do. Third is we've got a lot of islands planned. Now, people say, well, you've got islands, you can have more islands. Decentraland and Sandbox have announced that they're not going to do any more land, and I believe one of them has 90,000 pieces of land. We only have, from our first two phases, 14,000 or so plots. Now, there's someone's up to 13, right? So I'm up to 13 plots so far. Right. So I have a friend who's an investor in this company who sent me a text saying he owns 192 plots of land. He wants to build a shopping mall.
So this thing is like I don't even I really don't understand. I mean, I don't understand it. I do listen. I don't use Facebook. I really don't. I don't know how to use Facebook, to be honest. I never figured it out, but I do know people use it and they love it, right? Or maybe they did. But now here's the thing with this digital land. Like again, this is something I don't understand, but I do know that there are guys who are investing, real money. There's millions of dollars. It could be much, but there's guys in individual transactions, 6, 7 figure transactions buying this digital land, and this is just one small aspect.
Yeah.
Your
metaverse. I agree. It's one piece of what we do because it all fits together. Digital identity fits into avatars. Avatars fit into about one this morning. Avatars fit into the metaverse. You can't have one without the other. This is a sort of a double stuff Oreo, or it's a triple coated M&M. You got to have digital identity at the center. You have an avatar around that, and then that you have the metaverse. And we're at that point now. Technology isn't there yet to do full VR AR, but we're starting to plan out where we're going. We're working with other organizations that are ahead of us to start doing code sharing. We're talking to brands who want to get into the metaverse. So this is very, very exciting.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think I think I'm finally starting to kind of understand where you were like a year ago, the stuff that you're talking about a year ago, because you're like way ahead of the whole thing. Okay, so what you're doing with this digital identity for the metaverse now. Okay, so basically the metaverse now it's not just the Facebook thing, but it's like there's a whole bunch of different metaverses, and essentially now the liquid the avatars that you're creating, people are going to be able to use those that's going to be their identity in any metaverse, in any of these?
Well, the answer is, as long as they're compatible, the answer is yes. Okay. We're working with other parties that are doing that. But there's lots of different theories on where things are going. And I think there's going to be we're already working with formats that are compatible with other platforms. So at the end of the day, but at your core, you're going to have your digital identity. And if it, one of the science fiction terms is a sleeve. If it fits into, in my metaverse, it fits into this type of avatar. In another metaverse, it might fit into an alien avatar. In another metaverse, it might be a fish avatar. I mean, I'm just guessing. So the idea is at the core, your digital identity will fit into a sleeve or an avatar. And so, but there's so much happening in the digital identity space that we don't even get a chance to talk about, and where we're going there separate and apart. But we are very focused in digital identity, avatars, and the metaverse. The metaverse is taking off like a rocket, and we're benefiting from that. And there's been many companies that have benefited from a product that was not initially core but ancillary to their business, and it helped drive their entire business. So we're very excited about what we're doing in Aftermath Islands, and you're going to see a lot of opportunity expansion there. And I want to also mention that we have added a new automated delivery system. So we were getting inundated with orders, and orders were unfortunately backing up. But as of this morning, we're less than 2 hours behind in delivery. We offer a 3 to 7 day delivery program, and we're at about 2 hours right now.
Hang on a second. I'm going to put this up on the screen here. I'm going to okay, aftermathislands.com, right?
Yep.
Okay, hang on a second. Okay. Oh, let me just, here we go. Let me just create a little banner here. This is, so we're technically we're in the meta. No, we're not. Are we in the metaverse? A little bit.
Well, we're in the intranet, but I think we'll be broadcasting from the metaverse within 18 months. We're hoping to have the Wall Street Reporter in the metaverse.
We're gonna get the land. Dave. By the way, just my thesis. When you first came on our platform a year ago, right? Mm-hmm. So my thesis was this, and because again, look, you've had some major kind of winners. You had a stock that went 30x, and you were. You're kind of like a pioneering guy. And I said this to the audience. I said this, hey, my investment thesis is this. Look, this is a guy that's been really early in major, kind of market trends, whether it was like e-commerce, or there are other things. And so my thesis is, okay, this is kind of like that, I hope you're not going to be offended, but like the crazy uncle, that this is the guy that almost the next thing he gets, this is going to be the thing that's going to be the 100 bagger. So I think this is my thesis. Okay. This is the thing. This could be.
I am Michael Keaton in the movie Night Shift. You just got to look at that. So I am. Don't worry. I don't mind being the crazy uncle.
So this whole metaverse thing, when you were you were talking about digital identity last year, right? I had no idea what you're talking about. It's like what I get. It's a concept, like whatever. Okay. But again, look, there's a lot of companies. Like I understand market trends, market concepts. Doesn't mean I have to use the product. Like, look, we have companies that are in the psychedelic space, the cannabis space, I don't use those products. I don't use, feminine hygiene products, but I understand there's a market for it, right? So I understand there's a market for this thing. And we're actually seeing right now, like crazy stuff happening with this digital land. Again, last time you were on, I talked about a guy who's like, one of these social media guys is spending millions of dollars buying digital land. So I think that basically this is Liquid Avatar. This is kind of the investment thesis here. This has that 100x upside potential, because this is really, I think this metaverse thing really is the next big thing, the next big market theme for 2022. What else?
Well, we look at it this way.
Aftermath Islands. Liquid Avatar is the only.
I agree. We're a pure play in this space because we're really focused on that. How do you get the metaverse up and running, and how do you get people into the metaverse? Because it's not just, I bought a plot of land, great, I got a plot of land, let me play a game. How do I get my digital identity so I can how do you get the free property?
I think he saw. Okay, so it's use this.
The code is WSR, Wall Street Reporter, WSR 2021, and you go to aftermathislands.com, pick an island, and you get a $55 coupon by typing that in at checkout. Pick your plot, and you can get up to $55 free. So just follow the bouncing ball. You'll create a Wax wallet. And by the way, we partnered with Mascot and the Wax platform, which is now number 2. I think Amazon or someone made a major investment in them. And we were early in this, so we're seeing where things are going, and we're hitting it early.
By the way, this is I got to emphasize this for anybody watching. Look, here's the thing: in the microcap space, there's always companies. You see them. There's a trend that all of a sudden everybody jumps on top of this trend. This is not the case here. You were actually doing this a year ago, maybe even earlier, and the market has caught up to you. It's not like this is not.
And we have a 2022 item I'm not going to speak about yet, but the 2022 item that we're adding to our repertoire is something that will be an absolute game changer, we believe, in communication and payment and other solutions, which fits right into where we're going. So we're now gone from multiple products to adding hopefully one product in a cycle. And again, so there's all kinds of great things. I mean, we're running a promotion right now, Jack, where if you own a property in one of our 2 islands that is dinosaur or dragon related, you get a free dragon egg, and everybody gets this. But we're also running a promotion that if you buy new land, if you're a new purchaser, and again, if we do something on a particular island, I've said this last time I was here, people who own plots on that island will get something. But if we run a new promotion, you only get that new promotion if you participate in it. So we have a promotion right now. If you buy $200 worth of land before any discounts or any taxes or anything else like that, you could use your $55 coupon. You get a free gingerbread house, which is playable for the holidays. So you will next year be able to live in the gingerbread house. Like, these are all the fun things that we're doing. So we're making this fun, serious, and engaging. Our avatar product, MetaHero project, will launch we're saying January, but it might be a bit later because we're so inundated with Aftermath right now in our digital identity products. But that's going to be a game changer avatar. I mean, we're in my humble opinion, we're in multi-billion-dollar businesses now. Gartner, and we all know who Gartner is. Gartner put out a report called Emerging Technologies in Digital Identity, and they listed about a dozen companies, and we were one of the companies that they listed as.
You're kidding me?
And there are more.
Gartner,
yeah, Liquid Avatar, yep, for digital identity. We were positioned. It was Liquid Avatar, and it was alphabetical, so it was very, very great. But it was Liquid Avatar, then MasterCard, then Microsoft.
You're kidding.
We're on the radar. So again, I've been here before. We've been here before.
David, why do you put this is good? This is a good product. I mean, this is a major.
Well, because Gartner doesn't really allow you there's a little bit of restriction. We'll get to that. We'll talk about it more and more. But at the end of the day,
it's a big deal. That's a major value because Gartner is like it's a blue chip.
Gartner is Gartner. We all know who they are. So now we were one of the listed companies. There's many more that they didn't list, but the two that we're looking at the competitive landscape, and we're really well known.
David, getting back to the internet, what happened in let's say in 1996. Back then there was only a handful of internet companies. I mean, really, they were like whatever. And anybody who got onto that list, it wasn't Gartner, it was another research company. But anybody who got onto that list, those companies became billion-dollar valuations. I mean, so the perception is extremely important for the market. Now,
I agree. And look at when we look at digital identity, I think 2022 is a very big breakout year for us. We're already doing work with the Ontario Convenience Store Association. We've just been invited into some global programs. We're on the ground in a country right now, literally on the ground, proving digital identity in a sovereign nation. There's lots going on in each part of our businesses. As I said, digital identity, avatars, and metaverse, they're all multi-billion-dollar businesses, and we are solid, I believe, in each one of those, which means we've got great opportunity. Now, what's really unique is Liquid Avatar is a public company which holds those assets, but each one of those assets individually could be a multi-billion-dollar asset.
Okay, so here's the thing also. Okay, so we can talk about all the stuff is great, but the reality is, okay, so you have these numbers that came out last week. You put out this, it's like an interim report. So it's not, I guess it's not really official.
It wasn't for distribution in the US. So,
okay, so it's not, it's like, okay, so it's like really, it's a weird, like Canadian, I don't even know.
Yeah, and I understand the rules between the two of them, but the fact is.
Can we talk about the? Okay, so basically
a little bit, but again, it wasn't a guidance report, so we have to be careful.
Okay. So from what I understand, you did in this digital, you did this
in this quarter as a corporation. We've already done over 700,000 Canadian in gross sales, and that number is continuing to rise.
And that's between the period of October to early December. So that's like October, November. That's like 2 months roughly.
Yeah, just over 2 months. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a huge thing for this, in this brand new thing. I mean, like, so this is again, last year basically you were in the concept stage. Now you're in the revenue stage.
Well, we told the market as of October 1 we would start to create revenue. That's what we said, and it came on a little bit slower than we would have liked in the quarter, but we are creating revenue, and there are companies out there in our space that are generating a couple $100,000 a year and have several hundred million in market cap. Now we're still relatively new to the markets; it's only been about 18 months, but at the end of the day, we're focused on this long-term approach to business, a long-term approach to our assets, and again, the cool part about our business is we're starting to see partnership and opportunities to grow that revenue, what we hope is exponentially.
Okay, yeah, but this is substantial validation because these are it's hard, that first look in any business. I don't care what business it is, but that getting to that first couple $100 grand in revenues is difficult, and you've done it in a period of 2 months. Is just like, and this is like in this new.
Well, our goal is to get to the first million by the end of the quarter.
Okay, so and then so this is big. I mean, the numbers are really growing fast. So the question is, do you think? I mean, can you do? I don't know. I mean, like at this rate, can you do 10 million next year? I mean, that would be a big number.
I think that's a possibility. Think of it this way, Jack. If anybody who's a parent out there will know the book. If you give a mouse a cookie, he'll want a glass of milk. If you give him a glass of milk, he'll want a bedtime story. Right? It's a progression. So if you buy a piece of land, you're going to want to buy a house. If you buy a house, you're going to want to buy furniture. If you buy furniture, you're going to want to build a farm. If you want to build a farm, you're going to want to build a game, and so on and so on. So the core team behind Liquid Avatar. Well, many of us have been gamers for many years. As you know, I'm a big comic book enthusiast, which means people have to look out for Phase 3 because I'm so freaking excited about Phase 3. But and Phase 2 is in the market now. But at the end of the day, what's happened is we believe that people, because they're buying multiple plots and parcel, as we saw one of our friends said he's bought 13, or I don't know if it's a he, but I'm just making a presumption. He bought 13 plots of land. I mean, people are cut there. I'm up to third. There we go. Sorry. I saw that, but is
Spliff 1 ounce? I guess.
1 ounce. Okay, I know what that means, and okay. But don't partake, but I know what it means. At the end of the day, what we're seeing is if you give a mouse a cookie, if we can bring out great product that are fun. Again, we're not yet limiting the total number of parcels or plot. We're limiting them by islands, and we're nowhere near Decentraland or Sandbox. So for those that think that we're just going to print islands, we do have a game plan. Well, that's very nice. What Jay just said. That's really, really nice. Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Do you know this guy? Is he on commission here or no?
This is. I know he's not on commission, but I do know he's a large landowner. He's
okay. He owns the virtual land. He owns
virtual land. Jay sometimes reaches out to us, and that was a very nice comment. But at the end of the day, and we're looking at government properties to join us. We're looking at educational properties to join us. We're doing all kinds of really crazy things and cool things. So people are thinking, okay, well, our theme islands are selling, our estate islands are selling, and our community islands are selling the slowest. But we've got major plans for community islands. Like everything has a plan. This is like a simple line from The Hunt for Red October. If anybody knows that movie with
this guy's like a land baron. He's got 200 plots. He's a land baron.
There he is. There he is. Jay's got over 200 plots. He is a land baron. Yeah. Jay likes cookies if you give a mouse a cookie, right? So we're seeing that. So Jack, this isn't a one-trick pony. And if you have land, you'll want an avatar. And if you want an avatar, you'll want digital identity. So this is an interconnected solution. And at the end of the day, what we're looking to do is we want to keep it very economical for people to get involved. It is so important.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So right now you did like the 700 grand just in a period of, I don't know, 2 months. So I would
Mhm.
say, I mean, I don't want to extrapolate whatever, but let's say, I mean, that basically comes out to, 5 million a year annualized revenues, more or less,
Yeah.
more or less.
Mhm.
Okay. So, which is a lot. I mean, by the way,
To
again,
go from zero to go 0 to 1 million is one of the
yeah,
hardest things. Everybody who's an armchair investor or quarterback, and I don't mean to be
right.
rude to anyone, thinks it's easy,
Yeah.
right?
It's
You
hard.
know,
First, the
it's
first
sort of like
moves.
I could play. What does Aaron Rodgers do? I could do that. That I could.
Right.
The whole idea is sit in the seat and try and get it done. When you're also trying to affect all the other programs that are going on,
Now, especially
global
this is
change
in
in
a
the landscape.
crazy new thing. This is not like you're selling, vacuum cleaners door to door. This is like a brand new thing, which is like, everybody understands what a vacuum cleaner is or what our car, but this digital land thing. I mean, I think it's a major, major milestone to do 5
I
million.
agree. This
I
has
don't.
been so undervalued in what we've accomplished.
I
Again,
mean,
Infinite World is going public with $1 million of revenue and a $700 million value.
who's
We're
Infinite World? What is that?
It's
What
Infinite
they're
World.
a
I know
meta?
the guys at Infinite World. Yeah, so
Infinite,
they're just a
and
SPAC, but through a SPAC. But
okay,
TechCrunch reported yesterday.
and
So
they're doing what? So they're doing digital land based.
they're gonna build Metaverse.
So there you go. So in theory, so here's what I
Mhm.
think. I think if you're doing 5 million annualized right now, more on that, the stock, I mean, this, because it's a crazy new thing. I mean, it's very easy. Again, like this is going to set, it's, I think it's very easy for something like this to be trading at like 50 times the revenues, because you're not going to be at 5 million, but in 6 months, you might be at 25 million run rate. And the market is,
Jack, I can't argue with you. I
yeah.
look at the numbers
How
and the
many,
fact is
how
and
many
the fact
shares
is
outstanding? How many shares outstanding?
100 approximately 140 million and
Okay.
fully diluted 200 million. And I
Okay.
also want to quash some other fears
Yeah.
that have recently been addressed. And I mean, we look at the boards, but of course we don't comment on them. Management and insiders are on a national instrument release, which means we get some of our original stock every 6 months. We are in a blackout period, and we are not interested. I personally am not interested in selling at this level. This doesn't move the needle for me in my long term game. I want to see our stock significantly higher before. Now, I when my blackout ends, I would like to come into the market and buy. So 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 that's very important. I want to go in and buy. But again, it's very difficult because of all the things we're doing and all the projects we're involved in. I will tell everyone that management and insiders are blacked out both from buying and selling about 90% of the time. Okay, so it's really hard. So our goal is to build this value as fast as possible because we're already seeing great opportunities. I mean, think about Aftermath Islands in another vein for just a second, Jack. We're going to have an in-game currency. That currency will likely be a blockchain-based currency. So we are already seeing opportunities to create a tokenized utility out of Aftermath Islands, which could have an explosive value. Could. So, and we own a very large chunk of that asset. So at the end of the day, we're seeing all kinds of unique opportunities, not just revenue recognition, but also think about it this way. We were granted in our deal 150 islands. That's approximately net of all utility properties and any other about 500,000 plots of land at a current valuation of an average plot of land, which we won't book because our methodology is we don't book until it's sold. That's just $12 million worth of land right now just for ourselves. Like we're in really great shape. We're really starting to move the needle, and we're so excited about what we're doing on all fronts: digital identity, avatars, and the metaverse.
No, I gotta say, David, this really, it's interesting. This kind of really reminds me of like the .com stocks in
I
like
agree.
1996, when there was only like, I actually remember the first company, the first internet company that went public. It wasn't like Nets. It was like it was a penny stock deal. It was like a $5 million IPO. It was called, I forgot the name of it, but it was. But the thing is,
They were all small.
they
Well,
were forgotten.
I did an RTO then of a JCP, which doesn't even exist, out of the Alberta Stock Exchange back in '97. We did it for a $12 million valuation, and we merged with another company 3 years later at a $250 million valuation.
And
So
the same thing with these
yeah,
NFTs, digital land. It's kind of, I mean, I think we're going to see values in this from metaverse stuff just go
yeah.
crazy. And the fact that you actually in revenues now you're generating like essentially $5 million annualized and growing is, I don't know of any other company. I mean, I think the stock right now. I mean, the reality is this is a stock that could be trading at $5 a share very, very soon. Because that way,
Agreed, agreed,
you know, I
agreed.
mean, if you got to, let's say, 10, 20 million revenues, which, I mean, if you've gotten to a million basic, let's call it a million, just for easy. If you've gotten to a million just that fast, to get to 10 million is not going to take as long. I mean, it's the first million is the hard part.
Well, that's it. I
It's very
mean, we're
scalable, and this is
tracking every. Again, when I started my career, I started in retail marketing, and that's how I moved into the internet. And we've had lightning bolts. We've had lightning bolts with in our career with Disney launching that little song called "Let It Go," which was an Academy Award winner and a Grammy Award winner for Disney. We did the Flash event, helping them with the original Avengers movie, helping launch PVA. We've done a lot of major programs. I've done K-pop events with MTV that they thought they'd have, you know, 5,000 people. We built a server system for them for 50,000, and by the time we finished advertising, they had 5 million people show up. So we've seen this happen. This is not something that we haven't seen before, but we're taking it very carefully, and we're moving. We want to see the analytics drive the business. We want to know that we're making people happy, we're giving them opportunities, and they're moving forward.
I got to tell you something. The fact that again, it's like, listen, there's the fact is that Liquid Avatar not only is one really the only pure play metaverse stock, but on top of that, you layer that you actually have revenues that are growing. Like it's a huge thing. I mean, I think the big milestone. Okay, let's talk about next year because this is, I guess, I got off track because the idea that you have
So
these
do I.
revenues, I wasn't expecting the revenues. That's like a big
Well,
thing.
no one was expecting the revenue. That was the whole point. We did 4,000 the quarter before, and I went to both our U.S. and our Canadian council and said, guys, we've got to tell people about this. And they said, well, the U.S. rules are such and the Canadian rules are such, and we've been very careful because we don't want to give people the impression that there are costs against us, and we've got to put money aside for our build. But margins I think are pretty heavy. But yeah, and now that so the Pandora's box is open for revenue, our goal is, do we hit we have an ambitious goal of trying to cross the $1 million revenue mark this quarter, and we're working diligently to do that.
Okay, so for 2022, this is which is around the corner, 2 weeks away. What are your goals? Let's talk about like let's go through like look the avatars, land sales. Like what are the big goals
So
for?
digital identity is going to continue to permeate. We're seeing governments on many levels get into digital identity. I was on the call this morning in the UK and Europe talking about age of consent and verification of age in that region. So and travel, which is politely a cluster right now. It's again because Omicron. So we're seeing a lot of opportunities in digital landscapes. Again, the example I use is you couldn't go into Best Buy and just verbally give them all your information. Why should you be able to do that online? So digital identity will be a big opportunity for us. With digital identity, there is this hidden gem that we're working on. Think of it. We're all sort of innately saying to each other, well, we have our phone number for life, right? And that's how people get a hold of us. Well, what if I said, you instead of your phone number, your digital identity becomes an identifier that you could use to communicate with everyone? That's something to put in your bonnet for next year, because that is 20 atomic bombs going off at the same time. It's big. It's big. So that's the communication related to digital identity is a big opportunity, which we are currently investigating. Avatars. We know avatars are going to be massive because everybody's going to want one. We've got sports agencies talking to us. We've got celebrities talking to us about getting customized avatars that they can have. And our avatars are affordable to very exclusive. So that's avatar business. And then the metaverse. Our goal is to continue to expand our opportunities in the metaverse, get to a build stage where we can start piloting programs in 2022. I'm privy to white papers that are coming out by people for some of the biggest people in the gaming industry who are talking about metaverse activities for 2024 already. We're talking 2022. So our goal is to start and continue to deliver on our mandate. And as so kindly, I think it was Jay who said, we promised in 2022, 2021, we've met those promises. I cannot go back and say to anyone that we didn't meet any of the promises that we made in 2020 or 2021.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you something. It's very, very exciting to see that again. You've had this number that came out, which nobody was expecting, and now, I think one of the big milestones is going to be, when you can get to, if you can show, I don't know, 2 million in a quarter, that's going to be a game changer.
Well, we just did 700,000. Don't push it.
Yeah, but
I think you yourself said if we can do a couple 100,000, we've gone to seven figures. Our goal would be certainly our goal is to double that as fast as possible. But again, I caution everyone who's out there is to think about what it takes when you're sitting in this seat to do that. But I do agree. We'd love to go from 0 to 1 million a quarter to 2 million, honestly, to 5 million a quarter or 10 million a quarter. I mean, we don't see any end to this.
So Google didn't make their first million for quite a while, and
Exactly.
it wasn't that easy to get to.
No.
So the fact that again, in going back to the .com era, back then companies they weren't making the type of revenues you're generating now. It took them quite a while, but the multiples, the market was willing to pay huge numbers. So I think at some point, so from an investor's perspective, the way I would look at it is this. I mean, the investment thesis is that, look, the metaverse is going to be one of the big themes of next year or beyond, and people are going to be looking for pure plays that are actually, and if somebody is actually generating revenues and the stock is still, it's not $100 stock or 200, and it's like a 50-cent stock or $1 stock, there's going to be an upside for 10x. So I could see easily Liquid Avatar becoming potentially our next, not even 10 bagger, but again, David, we've already had a 50 bagger. What we have not had yet in the last few years is a 100 bagger. So you could be, and you have.
I look at I topped out. I think I can never remember. It's 34 or 33, 34 or 43. Sorry, times. So I'd like to hit 50 to 100. I mean, that's what I would like. That's my. That is a personal preference. Again, you can't take that as a promise or speculation. Everybody must do their own due diligence. But we're here to make this work for ourselves and our stakeholders. And I say that in that order, but actually the order is in reverse. Because of the way that the markets work and insiders and management work, the shareholders get the benefit first. So if we can build it for shareholders, we can build it for ourselves.
No, well said. But 100x from here is only like $15. It's not a big number. US $15. I mean, what is Facebook? I don't even know what Facebook is. What, a couple hundred or something, or these others? So
we're not talking. But again, it's.
I've seen this happen. Like in these new industries, which especially something which is highly scalable. Like you're in the digital world. It's not like you're making physical products. I mean, you can scale like crazy. Right. I mean,
I was talking to someone yesterday. I'll give you an example. I was talking to someone yesterday about an energy drink, and I said, you know what? We could sell energy drinks in the metaverse. The avatar. So now you sell the energy drink in a store in the metaverse. The avatar takes the energy drink, drinks the drink, and gets a boost. So they have increased stamina, increased energy, increased powers, whatever the case may be. They get to go play their game. But at that moment that avatar got that drink, the owner of that avatar was sent a coupon to their liquid avatar wallet that said walk into quote unquote corner store and get 2 drinks for the price of 1.
Oh, it's a big. There's a lot of marketing angles here. It's amazing. Like right now, I understand. I was talking to a guy. Like I don't know if I just there's brands, like real world brands that are selling clothing for.
We're starting to work on that now for the avatars. We're talking again. We're already there. Think of it this way, Jack. Take the drink, but I'll take you one step further. Your avatar buys a sandwich. Again, he consumes the sandwich, gets a power up. Yeah, but at the same time, Uber Eats or DoorDash is delivering that sandwich to your house so you can have it. I was telling someone in the sports industry yesterday,
am I talking too much?
Am I talking too much? I don't know.
That's my thing. No. So the key is it's like you're basically in the blockchain world, right? I mean, look what happened with Dogecoin, right? Or you have these coins
Doge, yeah.
1,000%, not even 1,000 times. Like Doge went up, I think 1,000, like from 0.00. I mean,
there is so much opportunity. Whether it's our stock, whether we bring out a token for Aftermath Islands, whether it's again, we cannot talk. We're not a securities firm, so in terms of issue, we're issuing a utility. Our game land is utility based. Our tokens would be utility based, but there is a value proposition to be associated with everything.
One question, just wanted to, okay, so basically the digital land, right, which, by the way, people can get for free right now if they go to this link over here.
Aftermathislands.com, and they
plot of land,
right.
Free plot of land in the new world. Remember
and I think it ends tonight, so do that as soon as possible. In the future, will I be able to sell this virtual plot of land for cash? Okay, so let me explain that. So the deed for that virtual piece of land is an NFT. We cannot comment on what you'd be able to do it, but Atomic Hub is a place that you can sell wax NFTs. What's really unique about our platform is in most metaverses, you only can buy that land with crypto. You can use PayPal to buy land in our platform. So because it's connected to Shopify. So we've done some very, very unique things to bring real people into this program.
No, it's great. Again, and if you have all these, you're basically at that intersection of the blockchain, crypto, NFTs. So everything is really aligned for this to be like 100-bagger stock. I'm not saying it's going to go there, but it could happen.
No, and we're running. So if this is not theoretical, we're actually deploying digital identity. We've got our avatars that are in pilot program now, and our metaverse land is selling. So people can say positive and not so positive things that they want, but at the end of the day, yeah. And I mean, look at RTFKT. I mean, Nike bought them. Go in, buy a pair of kicks from Nike, and then get your digital shoes, or buy your digital shoes and get the shoes delivered to you. There's so many opportunities here.
Okay, David, listen, we're out of time. We're like,
no problem, Jack.
We're going to catch up with you in a few weeks, like in the new year, in January. And I hope you're going to have some massive news then, because I think 2022 is the year of the metaverse. This is going to be the big thing.
I couldn't agree with you more. And it's the year of Elon Musk, and hopefully Elon Musk is the year of the metaverse.
Exactly. And this is it. Okay, David, thank you. Happy New Year. We'll see you.
Happy New Year. Happy holidays to everyone out there, and enjoy. Thank you, Jack.